around the city with my folks on a milli, and my shorty sitting pretty. She know that she got the realest.
I ain't got no time to hang to keep it $150. If we talking more than change, I'll be over in a jiffy. Talking cheap is what I'm saying, and that shit be hella iffy. I'm done playing with these lames, man, these goofies acting silly. Shit for real, it's not a game, and my schedule getting busy. Give a damn about the fame.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox Tuned In. That's right, we're doing another one. But before we get into it, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hey, what's happening? It's your boy Bobby Barrz, 2 R's, 1 Z. Don't get it twisted.
Hello.
What's happening?
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for coming back. It's happy to have you here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Let's go ahead and get on into it. We're going to talk about your crazy release of singles that you've got going on right now. We're going to talk about some of the ones that are out, some of the ones that haven't come out yet. Y'all probably heard the opening already, so you were listening to Riding Around the City by Bobby Barrz, produced by JC Banco. And it's a cool track, man. It's the first one in the series. It's super melodic. The beat slaps. I love the harpsichord sound. I'm not sure what it actually is, but that just kind of had that like kind of classic vibe in it. It's something that like, I've always grown up with, and it was definitely like a cruising bop for sure.
Already,
sure. The hook is super catchy, and you were locked in for it. It had a really good feel. And just a little bit of foreshadowing. JC's the only name that shows up more than once in this, so be ready for that later. But tell us a little bit about it. What made you choose that as the first one?
Man, that song, Riding Around the City, it's been something we had in the vault.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going through pretty much systematically all the songs that Banco and I started making when we first got together.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's a big bet thing, but definitely that time in life, we got a song called God Got Me, which was the first one we put out. And, I recently started outsourcing some mixing and mastering to 11 Studios.
Okay, yeah, shout out to
myself.
Studios.
All mix and master reference track, all record and whatnot, and send it over. But that song really, like you said, is like a riding, vibing, bop. Back then, was right when JC Banco and I started making music together, and it's one of them things. And along with a couple other releases that I got coming up as well.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, bro, that one, the beat, slap.
Yeah, that was the thing that stood out to me right away. And I just thought it was a really strong way to go into it. And, we'll talk a little bit more about the actual decisions and things that go along the way.
Yeah.
But before we get too far into it, just kind of tell us, what can we expect? What are some of the feels, the vibes? Describe it in your own words before I try to describe it in mine.
I mean, I got a few of them that are along the same vibes of Riding Around the City, because we had Mean Mug, a little slower bop, and then coming up, I did that rap song with King Laz, man, R.I.P. Petty Change, and even that beat was slapping. But I'm talking about vibes as far as riding. This next one is a real nostalgic type song.
Yeah.
Other than Celebration.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, let's go ahead. We're going to take a quick moment and we're going to show y'all a short clip of the next one we're going to talk about, which is Mean Mug.
Always on my grind, you know I never be done.
Look, I know I always look like I just got an attitude. If I'm not smiling, it doesn't mean that I'm mad at you. You are probably the only one that I'm mad at.
All right, and we're back. Now, Mean Mug with, shout out Martial Law, solid feature. That one felt a little more familiar. That one felt kind of a little more like you're like the you sound that I've come to know and love for sure.
All right.
But it's definitely got a tiny bit of that West Coast stank to it. You know what I mean? It's just sitting right in there. The hook was also super melodic. I appreciate the mix approach of like, it's like tough tonally, but it's still very like musical. It wasn't just like, we're going to hit you with this like kind of gritty sound all the way through. And you know, you were still doing your thing in the verses, but that twinge of auto-tune in the second
a little
verse,
bit on.
Yeah, like how it wasn't everywhere, and it's definitely not your main thing. So when I heard it, I was like,
yeah.
It like really it kind of activates the second half of the song, and it really gives it something. Tell us a little bit about the track, and specifically what made you decide to put it in just kind of right there.
Man, that song, so that hook and the melody, I came up with a cappella.
Okay.
And it was something that I had maybe freestyled on some things here and there. And like kind of worked out how I wanted it to sound, you know? And then finally found this beat. And that beat, Banco told me was actually someone was gonna buy it. And I was like, man. So I ended up trying it on a different beat. Wasn't working. At the time, I was doing other songs for an EP with Martial Law, and I just ended up doing the hook on it anyways because I had my eyes on that beat for it.
Yeah.
And then confirmed with Banco that no one actually bought it. So I ended up getting my hands on it, and Martial Law was there. Felt like it was a good fit. We got it done.
Yeah.
You know, it was real. Everything was cohesive. It was real, fluent.
Very much.
Organic. So I made it happen. And that's how it's been with a lot of songs like that. But, I'll get Banco beats here and there. I produce as well myself, but I like to keep it in-house and then evolve.
Well, you work with a lot of people too, so it's like it's easy for you to kind of bring on somebody, especially if you work well with them.
Yeah. A lot of people say fuck working with everyone, but I don't think it's that way. I think we need to get together, as a community.
Yeah.
Like where we at.
Man, I say that all the time, like, especially in this area. This area is so blessed to have so many people who can do a lot of things. But we also, the duality is everybody says, oh, why do I have to do all these things? Because some of us are good at 3 of the 5 things we try to do. But if you find somebody who's good at the 2 things you're not good at and 1 thing you are good at, then you can focus on the things you're good at. You've got somebody knocking out the other things, and then all 5 of those things are covered, and one of them is extra strong, and both people get to eat. Like there's so much capability in this area.
There is, but it comes to certain levels of being serious about it, because time is worth more than money. And sometimes also you can't control all the time you got in the day. You got other things that control that or take priority, as far as going to your job or taking care of your kids, or even going to sleep. You can't control.
Oh man, I don't know what that is.
That's what I'm saying is, like, you still got to here and there.
Yeah.
And regardless, it's about what you do with your time.
Yeah.
And just cherish it. What you gonna leave behind?
Very much so.
Because, it's like, I got people who I haven't done music with, but I'm good friends with, and they got good music too. And I don't want to, like, someday myself be like, hey, I wish I would have done that song with bro.
Yeah.
It was so close, And it's about leaving a legacy too. And that's why I try to hone in on vibes and then come back and try to relive that shit, or at least reminisce. That's why I think I got a lot of music that sounds really nostalgic.
Very much so. Very much so. And I mean, trust me, I definitely understand and respect your hustle for sure, as far as that's concerned.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But before we get into the next track, I did kind of want to know, for all the tracks, because, you know, they're all singles, they're all with different people, they're all kind of different places and sounds. Did you record them all in one place? Did you go to their space for it? How did you go about like tracking each of the singles we're going to talk about?
Yeah, man. So real quick on the process, I usually, you know, grab the beats, do the hooks, and then get the verses in. So it's a combination between sending out open verses or coming up with hooks with people in studio, you know, whatever time allows us to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, yeah, I'm a busy man, bro. I'm going to school and everything.
That's
to
fact.
get my bachelor's, you know. Still, I'm educating myself. And then the studio, being a husband, you know, working full time.
Yeah.
And doing this music. It's a lot, but I took it all on because I know I won't have this much time to do it later. And so I'm doing as much as I can. And now I'm shooting as many shots as I can.
Yep. Yeah, you got to plant those seeds.
Until you hit something, yeah.
Yeah.
And to see if they grow.
Yeah.
You know, if they make it through the winter, then we looking good.
Oh, yeah.
Next spring.
Yeah. No, man, I respect that for sure.
Yeah.
But now let's go ahead. Let's get back into another track. This next one is Petty Change featuring King Loud.
Everything that I made didn't come with a manual, and now that I'm getting paid, they see me on every channel, sniping them like on Blade. I'm always ready to battle. I know you don't want this fade.
All right, and we're back. Now that track hit different for sure.
Man.
Oh my gosh, like the first two tracks a little more, you know, like smooth and vibey, but Petty Change, first of all, the beat was tough.
Yes,
like that definitely one of the hardest hitting beats in the experience. The verses were hard, the hooks were hype, and I mean even the ad libs had like an attitude to them. There was this extra bite, like they had a personality of their own. And I mean, in my opinion, definitely, like I said, the hardest track in the experience of singles. What can you tell us about it?
Man, R.I.P. King Laz, man. Long live King Laz. You know, that song was kind of tough to put out, man, but I put it out when him and I had planned on doing it. You know, as far as recording it, we did it at Big Bat Studios, and that's the studio I run, so I engineered it.
Oh, hell yeah.
I had a gang of beats that I had unused, I sent to Laz, man, and some open verses too. Like I said, that's how I do it. And he also did the same. Sent me beats and open verses. And, you know, he pulled up. He's like, yeah, man, I got a verse, but I also got a hook. Maybe you could spit it, you know? Because I just like wrote some shit I thought you would like, but I think maybe it'd sound better if you do it. I was like, man, just lay it down.
Yeah.
Like, lay down a reference then or something, you know? And he did it. I said, tripping. Like that first take is the main.
Yeah.
You heard?
Yep.
And then just went over it with the grit and the high and all the character and energy. You know, he even on my ad libs. But what's crazy is I went through one of my drafts of like one of the takes I didn't keep, and in one of them pockets, like I was able to steal a real life ad lib, like him reacting while I'm recording it.
Oh damn!
And he's like in the studio.
Hell yeah!
Like saying hi and like his laugh that he do. You know, like some good memories, man. He was really talented cat, and I'm glad, you know, I had a hand in keeping his name alive, and I always will.
Yeah.
For sure. I made some patches with his logo, gave a bunch to Lil Ange, his girlfriend, and she giving them to the people who need to have them.
Yeah.
And all the royalties of that song is going to King Laz family.
Oh yeah.
And then the producers take, obviously.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm out of it. So that's why I had to actually end up featuring myself. You know, I put it out through my distro kid. I put it out as King Last featuring Bobby Barrz, because the one he had set up, I wasn't able to.
Yeah.
So, because he had the name change thing with the dots, and Apple Music don't like to change them. Apple Music, please change that. All right. Let people change their name and keep their streams and their profile stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that song mean a lot, and it go pretty hard.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yes, sir. That's actually produced by Blue Magic. That's Chris England. Also, he do a thing called Barbecue Blessings. So we got some events coming up. You'll hear that name too.
Oh, hell yeah. We're definitely looking forward to that.
For sure.
Now, before we get into the next track, I know we kind of touched on it from your interview before, but what solidified your your decision to do like the series of singles versus, you know, a full album drop?
Ain't nobody listening.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're talking to the wrong guy for that. I almost exclusively listen to albums, but go for it.
There's people who always gonna listen, but there's people who ain't got time to listen, and I'm just emptying the vault and trying to give people something to listen to of mine new every month. You know, if you're not a fan of what I've already put out, I got an hour and 30 minutes of music on Spotify. Actually, more than that, but on my specific Bobby Barrz Essentials playlist, it's an hour and 30, and it's only growing.
Yeah, I was gonna say getting longer every month.
Yeah, so man, once I'm up to 2 hours, like if you can't find one song you like, so I'm trying to reach different vibes. I'm trying to reach different audiences, different age groups, demographics. And, you know, I listen to an array of different music, and I wouldn't say every single single is the same.
Yeah.
They all have different vibes.
Well, I mean, as time progresses, I think artists change, and, you know, their inspirations come from different places over time.
I mean, I'm also very multifaceted and multicultural to the point to where it's like, it's never going to be an even kill with everything. The common denominator is I got my hands on it.
Yeah.
You know? And I may not do it all because I outsource a lot of things, but I make it happen.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Do you at any point plan on working on albums in the future, or do you just kind of want to
hell yeah. I mean, Deluxe coming soon, you already know. I'm doing like, you know, like they call it the snowball effect, and I'm just doing singles from these projects. And it's like, instead of coming out with the, you know, 30-song album, which I could do right this
I was going to say, you could.
Yeah, but what I'm doing is I'm taking some previously released songs, some currently released songs, putting them out, seeing what hits, seeing what people vibe with, and putting them into EPs and projects.
Gotcha.
There's other established EPs and projects that I'm putting singles out of.
Okay.
And if I want to, because I run this, my business as far as music goes, I run it all. And I could put out every single single and put them in an EP if I want to. A whole EP is singles that were already previously released. So y'all can see a little bundle. Like, why not?
Yeah. I mean, I guess because I it's been a while since I've like released music on any streaming services.
No one's telling me I can't.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I guess how does that differ from like putting them as a playlist? Because I know playlists are like the big things to like try and have and get on right now.
They on playlists too.
Yeah. Well, like I said, right now you do have a grip of it all as a playlist. How would re-releasing it as like an EP concept like differ or better or worse the experience? I'm just genuinely asking as a person.
So you go like single. So you get a certain demographic, you know, certain demographic. Then you take those 3 bundles and say, hey, 2 of those 3 songs plus 2 more is in the EP.
Okay.
Then you get a bunch of listeners
Yeah.
Maybe people, fans of songs, whether they fuck with the genre or not, or the vibe.
Yeah. And they're going to come and at least check out the other stuff that goes into Edition because they already know about the ones that they liked.
And I mean, it's strategic too, because Capital Gains, all those are about prospering, you know, and about making money and, you know, building wealth in perpetuity type shit. That's why it's Capital Gains.
Yeah.
And then the one with Marshall, you know, that one's specific. All these different things, like its meanings. So we can bundle songs with certain vibes, but that's why I'm taking a single from each EP, because all the EPs are different for a reason.
Yeah.
So I got one called Hood Hymns. I'm gonna put Petty Change in, and along with all my other like more hood songs, you know, to where it's just on some hood hymns, just like rap gospel.
Yeah. Okay, so HYM
hymns.
Yeah. HYMS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, hell yeah.
Hood hymns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that a lot. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for taking a second and just kind of like going through that. It's always interesting to kind of see people's thought processes and approaches towards releasing music because, like you said, it is your business and everybody kind of does it a little differently. So it's always fun to have a little insight.
Yeah, I mean, I've been sitting on a lot of this music for a minute though.
Yeah.
So just emptying the vault.
Hey, that's how it's done. I mean, T-Pain did that with Everything Must Go Part 1 and 2. And I mean, some of those tracks are some of my favorite tracks.
You know, like Russ did the whole every week thing. And like, yeah, we could do that. But man, I just give him once a month.
Yeah.
Not even on a specific day, just once a month. And you might get more than that in a month.
Yeah.
If a project's coming out too. So
no, I think once a month is good. You know what I mean? Because that's an album a year, at least. Just by stat, like, you know, literally, if you do January to December, that's 12.
Yeah,
and that's like a good amount of them. And so, just like I think that is a more reasonable concept. I think it's wild when people are putting out a track a week and like trying to write it for the next week and just being like, ugh. Like, right. I get it grows your algorithm, but that is exhausting. That is exhausting. I've seen a lot of people who start by doing that, and then 2.5 months in, they're like, hey, what should I write about now? And you're like, you should be writing about stuff that you want to write about.
The fact that I was able to stack up a bunch of music last year, like I put my work in, grinding, and all that grinding made it to where I can be very efficient, work remotely if I got to right now with doing these features. Like sometimes you just pull up and you get someone like City the Great who pull up and do a quick little feature and you're like, damn, how you do that? Hella quick, and you got a song done.
Yeah.
Do a hook or just freestyle with somebody and figure something out. Like, damn, I know a beat, I could put that on. Or going through something, like.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Little things like that.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. Let's go ahead and let's get into this next one, which is Celebration.
I wanna celebrate that I woke up breathing. They never thought I would make it. They thought I was a heathen. But I put that work in all day and night while y'all sleeping, dreaming.
All right, and we're back. And that was Celebration featuring Steppa Smooth. And that track was fun. I've said this in plenty of other episodes on other people's stuff, and I think I might have said it before on yours. I'm a big fan of anthem horns.
Yeah.
That is through and through. That is a sound that it just gets me going every single time. And I mean, it like, even if I think like, it was kind of synth organ-ish, it was still like synth horn. Like, you know what I mean? It just had that big feel. And the track was more like, it was like hype, but it was lighthearted. You know what I mean? Like it just had that good feeling, that inspirational vibe. And it had this moment where you feel like you really opened up. That was the thing that kind of stood out to me, is that you had some like bigger layers on your voice. You had some more dynamics in the verses. And it felt like it all came from a good place. And so that was kind of the things I noticed about that one that really stood out to me. And I mean, that's the most recent one that's come out in the real life timeline. So I'm curious to know like kind of what people's responses were on that. And even like, what was the inspiration behind that track specifically?
Man, so it's being received pretty well. A lot of people already send me videos, and
Mm-hmm.
I've had nothing but good reviews on it so far. Man, shout out my dog Steppa Smooth, 1P, all one word. And you know, JC Banco and Steppa Smooth go further back than I do with Banco.
Mhm.
And once we was in the studio, the creative house, and he was living there with me. We was doing music every night, whether I was there or not. Steppa would come over there was a certain time, about a year or two ago. It was early 23.
Mhm.
And they was getting in the lab every night, and Banco was making hella beats for me. So what he did is, like, there was a freestyle Steppa did that was like that, and he ended up chopping it up, putting it in the beat, and just was gonna have me spit over it. And I was like, man, why don't we like have him really sing that? Like, next time he came over, we did that. Shit, ran out of time. A week later, I had my verse and all the intro and shit done.
Mhm.
And that's it, you know. That's how we was feeling, because we was on the rise. We all just started getting together. Confidence was high. Had the podcast going.
Mhm.
That's when we started that. So yeah, Celebration, you know, the strategy on dropping it was because it's near the time the kids graduate.
Mhm.
I think I was a little late, maybe college be graduating.
Yeah.
So I've had a couple videos of that, but if you're getting this in time, if you got a graduation or any type of celebration, party,
Yeah.
whatever, man.
Well, I mean, summer's
in
just a
with
good
that.
time for parties in general. so-
Exactly, which is why another reason, but also because 4th of July is tomorrow.
Mhm.
So
Well, in the realm of this, I think it came out a couple days, or it happened a few days ago. But
that's
Still
fine,
close
but
enough to
that's
this, yeah.
another reason why I dropped it prior to that, though,
Mhm.
was for that reason.
hell yeah,
I usually try to not combat with holidays, but if I got a song that could be somewhat of a theme for it,
hmm
why not?
yeah. No, I mean, I think it's very fitting for a lot of those types of things. And just like I said, it's just got this really good feel to it. Like I really enjoyed listening to it just because.
Feel like you're at church.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel good. Like, and I think more music could be like that nowadays.
You know, when I did the intro, I was kind of just being funny with it, but I put myself, even during the verse,
Mhm.
the intro, like I put myself in the situation as if people were coming to a party or a graduation, like say, for example, and I'm thanking people for coming. Like, thank you, nice to meet you.
Mhm.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
And then the hook is celebration, and then my verse is like my valedictorian speech. I got like the cap and gown on my Andre 3000 shit, you know? Like, man, first off, I want to celebrate that I woke up breathing. They never thought I would make it. They thought I was a heathen, you know?
Yeah.
It's blah. I think, like, that's where my head was. And that's where the video is going to go. We're getting that done this summer.
hell yeah, definitely looking forward to that. That was the next question I was about to ask. Is there a video coming out? So
It has to be.
there has to be.
That one.
If it didn't have one, I would be like, maybe you should consider it. So I'm glad to hear that it's in the pipes.
Yeah, and stuff like riding around the city would be easy. We could do mainly car scenes,
Yeah.
like, if we want to. And like, but we getting the video shot.
Hell yeah. Well, definitely looking forward to that one. But now let's go ahead and let's check out the next track, which is Ready for the Weekend.
Cause I've been going hard all week, baby. Overtime, getting money in the streets, baby.
Get ready for the weekend, yeah, I'm getting right. Fresh, fake, new gear, gotta keep it tight. Look good, feel good, what I'm feeling like. About to swoop on a bottle that I'm a kid.
And we're back. And that was Ready for the Weekend featuring B. Linz. And super bouncy. Super bouncy. That's like the first thing that comes to mind to describe it. It's just got that kind of that feel to it the whole time. It's definitely like the most R&B-esque track. The beat was a little sneakier, but the flow was consistent. It was animated. And the hook just like that was the part that really stood out to me on that one. Is that just like, that wasn't the whole track, but like that kind of makes the track just feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
And what can you tell us about that one?
That's one I was telling you that's pretty nostalgic also.
Yeah, I already used that description in an earlier one. I didn't want to double down on it, but that is
but that's the one I was talking about mainly, to be honest, along with riding around the city. But I'm doing like a every other type thing.
Yeah.
But also put things where they go as far as like through the summer and stuff.
Yeah, because that'll be in July. So that'll be right as everything's kind of starting to wind down a little bit.
July,
I guess
10th or
now
11th.
it's coming out this month, but.
Yeah, 10th or 11th. But, man, you know, again, shout out Banco. Shout out B-Lens, man. B.Linz. Bro, every time I played that song for somebody, they'd be like, who that singing? And that's B-Lens. He could rap his ass off too, but man, bro can sing for real. And that hook was originally myself and Banco. And originally where he's singing, I was singing. I did the reference, and it's Bobby Barrz, not Bobby Melodies, okay? I wish I could sing, but I can't sing like that. And so I had another song with B-Lens with D Nice, DNY Money Sign 3. So we got actually 2 songs. And then I was in the studio with them a few times. I'm like, bro, I got a song. I need you to finish the hook for me, dog.
Yeah.
Because all it was missing, my bars was there. All it was missing was my part of the hook that I was supposed to re-sing. And I tried it a bunch of times, and I'm just like, Banco, this ain't me, dog. Like, this needs something.
Hey, it takes a big person to know what they're when they're strong at and when they're not.
But it also needed something.
Yeah.
Like, even if I was on it, it sounded good and it would have been passable.
Yeah.
You know, but like, not what it is.
Yeah.
And what it is
it's real good.
What I envisioned.
It's real good.
That's the thing. When I was singing it, in my head, I sounded like that brother did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm glad he came through, and I had, you know, the ear to like be like, I think bro could kill this. He came through, laid it down, sent it off to mix and master.
Hell yeah. And then before we get into the last track, I'm curious, how many of these are going to be like live tracks that you perform?
Man, I've been performing all of them. Petty Chain's kind of a hard one.
Yeah.
For me personally, I did perform it at his birthday. Twice actually. It's been on the radio on Northwest Breakout Show. Been on PDX Radio. Pretty dope experience. Portland Metro Records. Seattle Music is Real Radio. You know, things like that. So, you know, that's a legacy for my dog, and I definitely will do that verse here and there. I got a show, you know, every time I know there's going to be, you know, I think every year around his birthday, I'm for sure going to perform it. But when there's, you know, like his son got a birthday party this weekend, and I ended up making, at his birthday, because his kids and his parents and family was around, I played the edited version that I sent to the radio station.
Yeah.
But like my verse is actually clean.
Yeah.
Last did his thing, you know.
Yep.
But it was organic, man, and that's the type of shit you can't censor.
Yeah.
You know, but either way, riding around the city, I want to start getting Banco back up stage, but either way, I think a lot of these, what I'm going to do is play the hooks and do my verses.
Okay.
And that let me sneak, you know, an extra like 3-4 songs in a set.
Yeah, very much.
If I just do, you know, a minute.
Yeah. I mean, you could even like, you could not like full on medley them, but you could put a couple of them together and kind of like write.
Minute 30, you could get hook, verse, hook.
Yeah, easily. You
know, and then if I got 15 minutes, I could put a bunch of just where it's not even me on the hook. I'm just doing the verse.
Yeah.
I could, and that's what I've been starting to do, especially on the ones that I'm putting out, you know, and depending on the verse. But they all getting performed, especially at the day shift open mic that I host every Thursday. I'm also going to school, bro. So I'm only really doing 1 or 2 shows a month, other than the day shift, which is every week. But, just balancing.
Yeah.
It's about, I want to be efficient, but my focus is quality and precision, not necessarily quantity and just vision.
Yeah.
Got him.
I was gonna say, I'm technically, I try to be all those things at once, but I feel ya. I feel ya.
Yeah.
Also, I don't ever recommend anybody do as many episodes as I do in a week. So you are taking it the smart route for sure.
I've overwhelmed myself before many different avenues.
Yeah.
Of passion and dedication. I've overwhelmed myself, and so because I'm a person who is multifaceted, I also have many different types of hobbies and things that occupy my time, but it's mainly all things that move me forward.
Yeah.
So like I consume a lot of knowledge every day. Man, while I'm at work, I'm writing rhymes, trying to hit up radio stations, setting up studio sessions or videos or future releases, promos, trying to engage on the internet.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really trying to pay somebody to do it for me right this minute. I'm trying to really just
I feel
thug that out. But man, it's a grind. I think dropping this music though is a good thing, man. And I'm emptying the vault. I've been doing music for quite a while now, and now's the time.
Hell yeah. Well, that being said, we've got one last track to go. So let's go ahead and get on into it. This one coming up is True to the Game.
Only competition be the man in the mirror. She be loving my vibrato. Call me Ricky Ricardo. Eggs in the morning with bacon and avocado. Hit the Starbucks, got a caramel macchiato. All money in, big bet is a motto. Don't make me come collect, give me the easy.
All right, and we're back. And that was True to the Game featuring Quick and City to Great. And we have an extra special surprise for this particular track.
What it do, y'all? You already know who it is. Mr. CITY from Northtown all the way up to the Northwest, bringing you good hip-hop music.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much for joining us for this one.
Yes,
Already, man. A pleasure every time, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Already.
So real quick, I'll say my bits on it. And I'm actually really glad you're here for this.
Right?
Because that track was it. I kept hearing hints of like G-Funk all the way through it, which I like resonate with immediately. That had this essence of those true West Coast vibes. But that one just like, it felt like it came straight from a Skilo album. You know what I mean? Like that's where it was for me. Yeah. And I know you said, you opened up, I said you opened up a bit in Celebration, but like you just went off on that one. You were definitely locked in. It had all the feels, and in true Jambox fashion, I usually do a bit where I pick out one track that I think really stands out for people's music, and that was the one. That was the one. Like, I loved that track. I'm so excited for when it finally drops so that people can hear it. But please, whoever wants to go first, tell me a little bit about it.
You take the ball, man.
Man, True to the Game. So Quick is my little bro, and we don't get to link too often.
Yeah.
And every time he out here, he's out in SoCal for a minute. Right now he's living in Vegas. But every time he come visit, we get 2-3 songs done, whatever. So it was right before I got married. Sent him a pack of beats knowing that he was coming because he was in my wedding, came to stay with me. I'm like, we got to get in the lab.
Yeah.
Because we did that same thing before he got married. Bachelor party, we was in the lab, dog. Like,
hey, that's the way to do it.
Fuck it.
That's the way to do it.
At least part of the weekend, we bust out like 2-3 songs each time. Anyways, so like True to the Game, that was originally my brother spitting that hook, but he did it and he channeled something to where like his intent of spitting it was for a reference for somebody else with that voice to spit it. And he ended up just being on that verse, which is cold. And I left my verse on there. man, ran into my dog City the Great, and like just same thing with Laz, man. Enough times seeing him, even after the first time, it's like, bro, I got a song, you know, that definitely can hear you on.
Mm-hmm.
And he even said that, you know, he ain't never had no one else write something for him so that he spit.
Yeah.
But it's like, it was a hook. I'm like, bro, I hear your voice on it, or at least your energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know what I hear, but let's see what it sounds like. And man.
Magic.
Yep.
Magic. He's definitely giving y'all the condensed nice version of it.
Yeah.
But in a nutshell, man, like this cat, man, his the multifacets that he has on his delivery and going into the music, I mean, all the way from the production to the engineer side to the versatile verses that he put out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been a fan of mine. It made me be like the thing that be like, people be like, can see an artist and be like, no, I don't want to work with that artist.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's always made me want to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first met Bobby, it was just like so hard to get him in the lab. It was like,
Yeah.
hey, B, I got the money. You ready to go to the lab? He'd be like, all right, bro, next week until the show improved.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got the show improved. That's when my boy opened up all access to show me the game. Like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I'm not necessarily going to, and it's to this day, we still argue over it. I'll be like, bro, you know, like, I got to give you your flowers for bringing me back to life in the game. He'd be like, City, I ain't do nothing but tell you where to go.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, well, bro, if you didn't tell me where to go, then I wouldn't know. So
Yeah.
when he came to me with the hook, I was kind of like, I don't know, bro. I don't, this you writing? You don't quit milling me with Drake. You know what I'm saying? But my love for the music was so bigger than what the little thing, my little arguments of what being happened on the song. Not only is Bobby my brother, Quick my brother, you know what I'm saying? I've always loved the music they put out. So the opportunity to hop on, I'm like, I don't care how you get on.
Yeah.
I just want to get on. Then my love for the G-Funk. I think I
I was about to say.
Yep.
I was about to say.
Man, like I'm really trying to keep it alive, man.
Yeah.
In the name of Nate Dogg, you know.
Already.
Shout out my last interview. I mentioned him. You know what I'm saying? And to keep that G-Funk alive is just, it just take me to an era.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just an era that we trying to keep alive on our side of things, man. That's just one of those West Coast nostalgic times, man. So yeah, it was a pleasure to be on this track. But it was like really a show improved to get on this track.
Yeah.
Everybody just don't get on a Bobby Barrz track.
No, I feel like I've been trying for years. No, I'm kidding.
I believe you.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, that's an interesting perspective. I don't think a lot of people talk about how sometimes, like, the sound of somebody can kind of be the part that makes a thing stand out. I mean, you mentioned it on a few of your, like, as we've been talking about some of these tracks, but, like, it's a good point to talk about. Like, your voice really does just kind of solidify that element of it. I don't think anybody else could have done it quite the way you do it, because you do have a very, like, you know, like Vin Diesel-esque distinctness to your voice. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a lot of yelling to get to this point.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of yelling to get to
Yeah. I hear what you said.
yeah, like it just, there's some
The comparison is crazy, but
You
yeah.
can hear the LA.
Yeah.
Basically what people say, be like, man, I could tell how you talk. You from LA. I'd be like, what is it that I'm saying? That
Well, I mean,
LA. It's just the aggressiveness, just how you say it.
Even the tone of the voice. And
That's more what I'm saying too. Like, you have a tonality to your voice that, like, you know, like I people always tell me I have a deeper voice.
Yeah.
But you have a deep voice. Like, I would have to try to get it to that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's a talking voice though. But so on True to the Game is because I heard him rap. I had engineered him on a couple songs prior, and obviously heard a bunch of music at the day shift. He got this tone, as he may have a deep speaking voice, he's got a rapping tone that cuts through the beat.
Yeah.
To a point to where I wanted to try to hone that in. Because there was a tone to it that I admired, or at least saw a fit for that song, right?
Yeah.
Specifically. Because I'm sure he could do plenty different tones with his voice, like most of us can.
Yeah.
But like what you did on like Arrogant and Fully Equipped, like that's type of stuff that just cuts through, and it's just, you know what I mean? Melodic but raw at the same time. Like,
well, one of the things I think people don't give credit for people with deeper voices, and I'm going to use a really, you know, really on the nose example here, Geddy Lee from Rush. Dude sings all the way up here.
Yeah.
But when he speaks, it is a deeper voice.
I mean, they say Michael Jackson had a deep voice too.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is people with deeper voices, when they start to sing up a little bit higher, they keep this presence in the mid-range that is actually really pleasing to the ear.
Yeah.
That people who kind of speak in a mid-range voice, you're always singing up a little bit. You know what I mean? You're never trying to like sing down, because that's just not how the voice travels.
Yeah.
So by having that presence and that boominess, that extra gravity in the, that gravitas, if you would, it really brings out something.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
not to cut you off, B, but just like to shed light more on how he said, like, yeah, I got my voice and I do have a distinct sound, but just to go how much I admire his ear, man. B he heard what we heard once he heard my voice, and it was to the point, like he said, I could have hit it with so many different tones, but he like, no, bro, I know you can hit it like this, this, stay in this pocket. Not, okay, city, put your city on it.
Yeah.
He like, no, I hear something. I need you to stay right here. Hold it right here. I'm like, okay. But now as I hear the end product, like just coming here and getting in the car, listening to it, I'm like, yeah.
It fit.
Bobby was right.
Now, when we putting it together, I'm in my head, certain things, summer, in a car, riding. Now I'm riding and I'm listening to it. Now I got that vibe. Now to ride and hear it in the car that I have in mind. When we put these visuals together, it's all gonna fall in place, because he was like, no, we gotta stay in this pocket.
Yeah.
Don't create nothing new. Don't create a different sound. This is what we want. This is what we gonna do. And until we get it, we in here.
That's why, like, the rapport we got, I had to earn too, to be able to have you take any type of direction that you did. You feel what I'm saying? To where, it was what, 1-2 takes?
Yeah.
All we did have a conversation about it, like, bro, it cut through like this. Yeah. We went through it like without recording for a second, and then got in there and just got it done. No. It wasn't like City always right there with it, really efficient in the studio. Every time I seen him in the studio, we pulled up to a lot of places before, and man, I might just like, help some people with a hook or something, or help engineer, and City lay down 2-3 verses, or at least have them written, already ready. Yeah. Right. And, that's where you got to be, is efficient with it, especially when you can't control all the time. I wish I could put all my time into music. Yeah. I really do. But, so with this release, man, I got at least a verse on every song. Right. But what you don't see, I guess, or hear is that I executively produced everything. Like other people had hands in it too. It wasn't just all me. But, most of the hooks or getting the people, and I don't even want to call them features. It's like people who collab with making that sound, because it's like I recognized someone else had an instrument that I was missing. Yeah. And not only that, like you get, friendships and working relationships out of shit like that too. And, it's just about getting things done. And like we talked last time, I really want to just produce, but like emptying the vault, continuing to create. That's why I scheduled them all and getting everything ready to go, so I can continue to create this new, chapter. And music I got coming out that I'm creating right now is crazy. Finishing up some EPs and stuff, going through life. It took a minute after Laz passed to my pen back on fire, but my flame back, and Pan Griffey, we hitting it.
I was gonna say you're like the Pacific Northwest DJ Khaled, but with talent.
I was gonna say that. That's crazy. When you said executive producer, that's crazy. I said that in my head. Yeah. On me, I did.
Yeah. But no, but I mean, like you said, you're doing kind of what he does for like certain aspects of, the culture. But here you're like finding the right people and knowing where they belong in the right places.
Honestly.
Right.
Like the connections this man puts together, it be so when things become normal, it's second nature. You don't realize after a while, you know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Y'all work together. This man probably put together 4 or 5 business ventures in the hip-hop game, in the hip-hop community right now, or 5 things or 5 activities are happening a week off of just what he does on a Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, respectfully, he's got a weekly thing going.
Yeah.
And that is, like, I used to run a weekly car meet for 2 years. It became, like, quotably the second biggest weekly in the area. And it's not easy. It's not easy. You got to be able to, like, keep things interesting. You got to make sure people are showing up. You got to make sure everything is staying managed because, you know, people be people and sometimes.
Yeah, man.
So it's like, and you never know what's going to happen. And it's commitment. It's a commitment. It's X amount of hours every week, and you're gonna be there from before it starts until after it starts. And just, you know, sometimes it'll be this way, sometimes it'll be that way. Sometimes you're not gonna be feeling good, sometimes you're gonna be feeling great.
Right.
So, like, being able to commit to that, but also being in front of people. One thing that I'll never say is nobody has ever shown up to it and he hasn't been there.
No, for real.
You know what I mean? Like, that's
Facts.
that I think is a really important thing to distinguish. And I mean, it's what you do for the community is, you know, like, I guess, you know, this is me giving your flowers on that. What you're doing is creating a space where people can exist in person.
Yes, sir.
Because, you know, 1 million streams on Spotify doesn't connect with the people.
Fact.
That is just the realm of digital. That is just, you know, I mean, yeah, we talked about off camera, but that could be bots. That can be strategic planning.
Yeah.
But being a human being in front of other human beings in a place where other human beings can do their thing and feel a sense of community through it.
Yeah.
That's not something that you can just download. That's not something that you can just draw on a piece of paper and pay a marketing person for. You're making something that people can exist inside of and feel like it's their thing as well.
Already, we got a whole chant mantra type thing, you know, and man, the day shift is cool, man. It's been going for, you know, a little over 1.5 years, and every week it is tough sometimes, you know, with going on vacations and holidays and things like that, but that's why everyone needs a team, man. What's the point of having soldiers if you don't use them?
You know, B? You know, especially, man, I got to take my hat off because putting all this together and an artist like City the Great has your phone number, it can get kind of tedious at times, you did?
Yeah.
But this is my dog. And when I, you know, he'll tell you, I call him a lot every day. He checked me on mine, I check him on his, but in order we pushing each other for the better. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I do value and appreciate off of the community that this man is creating. Like, when I walked into the day shift, you didn't even know I hadn't did music in 10 years. That man walked up to me like he knew me. Like, bro, you ready? You got your set? I laughed. Like, he don't even know who he talking to. You know what I mean? Like, all right, yeah. And by the time I got done performing at that show, I was back to where I was. It's been going crazy ever since to now. Fast forward, not even a year later. Yeah, I'm sitting across on the stage on the podcast with you, bro.
Hell yeah.
You know, so hats off, man. Even though he's not gonna take the credit.
I mean,
it's good, bro. I appreciate you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We'll force him to take it with this one.
Yeah.
Hey,
well, now it's out there.
Appreciate both of y'all for real. No, yeah. But no, man. I appreciate the flowers, and you know, everyone who does things with a good heart doesn't mind, you know, a little recognition here and there. But that also ain't what I do it for. No, totally. Nor what I should. And I do it to try to prosper, and I actually genuinely want to see other people win. Also, a lot of things I'm doing is to lead by example. I want to see other people win. And, you know, not everyone going to take my advice and not everyone going to follow my lead. But the least I can do is give them a platform to try to do it themselves, or at least give them some cheat codes or some clues.
No, I mean, I think you said it perfectly. Leading by example doesn't mean copy what I'm doing. It's seeing that the tenacity, the attempt.
Find your way. I found my way. Find your way. But here's some things that might help you. If not, try to, you know, copy and paste that into your lane or something.
Yeah. Or even if you find one thing that makes sense, like, you know, like I didn't know much about, you know, doing this kind of stuff before I got into it. So there was like stuff that I would always watch, and I didn't copy anything because, you know, it's not quite the same as anything else, but like I would see something, I'd be like, I wonder what made them get to that point. I wonder what made them think of that decision. I wonder, like, if they make this happen, do they do it so that happens?
Right.
And so just being able to set an example means that it proves that it's true. And when you're doing it in front of people, then they can't deny that it's happening.
Man.
And I think that's kind of an important thing to do. And somebody has to.
And the proof is in the pudding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a little funny one to add on to what you just said in personal relation with Bobby. I remember when I first met Bobby, and I seen I seen the machine. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was just saying, oh, if I go talk to Bobby, I could perform on Thursday. No, I'm watching the whole machine. I'm seeing the whole big bed machine. And I'm just like, man, I need this dude to help me in some kind of managerial way.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, B, how would you feel about managing me? And his response was, man, honestly, man, I ain't into managing no grown man's life. I heard what he said, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I completely felt it because you never when you dealing with with artists at the volume that you deal with at our levels in this now. Yeah, it's hard to decipher things off of the first 10 seconds because everybody can hide within. So I seen the like. Shut off, you know what I'm saying? Even me, even knowing now, like now I poke at them and I bug them and I irritate them like, B, you remember when you tried to treat me like one of them rappers? He did. But once it was showing proof, it was all just like he never did. He won't do it for me. Nothing.
Yeah.
B, hey, can you do a drop? No. I'll send you an example. This how I did it. I know you can do it. Hey, go to this show. This show is cracking. I might not go, but here, go. Yeah, you know, he just gives this to anybody. It's just that people don't take advantage. Yeah, and they say like, "Oh man, B do this," or "He only feel this way about this artist." No, it's that you don't take advantage of every opportunity.
Man, I got not a podcast, but I got a group chat that's got 60 people in it right now, but has throughout the year and a half had maybe 150 total. And I put gems in there, and it's a networking thing to where if anyone needs anything, the only requirement is that you get in there, right? Yeah. To the day shift at least once. But, man, none of them take direction. You can't really put nobody on. You can only give them opportunities. Yeah. And it's what they do with it. It's like, bro, I'm out here just getting assists. I'm getting buckets too. But I'm out here at least for a double-double. I'm going to get a couple rebounds as well, maybe even triple-double, you know, depending on the month, you know? But, like, I'm out here scoring, and it's about just giving them dimes off. If you can't make the bucket, you know, if you can't lay it up, or at least pass that motherfucker off. Right.
Use your team, man.
Yeah, something. That's what I'm saying.
Utilize your team, man.
Make it happen either way. You got to win. And it's about what you're going to contribute, you know? And that's why I just try to help folks win the best of my ability, you know? But I also, that whole mindset of leading by example and doing best for my career, that's how I could help manage on a very small level, just at least by an example to all these artists who I believe have a lot of potential.
Well, you know, the old saying of a rising tide raises all boats. You just got to be the ocean. You can't worry about boats with holes in them. You know what I mean? Thanks. So you're doing big things though, and you know we're probably going to start wrapping this up now because we don't need it to be the Showboat Show forever. We're going to give you so many flowers for the rest of the time.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
We're going to start winding this up, City. Thank you for joining us for this part.
Man, pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure.
Yes, sir. And we'll have you back soon.
Definitely. You know, it always welcome to come, man.
Yes, sir. But Bobby, let's get back to just you and I for a moment.
Yes, sir.
And let's talk about what's coming up in the future. Because, you know, just because these singles are here, it doesn't mean there's not more that you're working on. And you were fortunate enough to send me a couple sneak peeks of a few of the EPs you got going on.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what we can look forward to with those.
Man, I got an EP. You know, I'll talk about first is Capital Gains. That one's going to be a culmination, like I said earlier, of songs that are about prosperous type mentality, just grinding, running things up and trying to just do everything I can to keep getting motion. And it's going to be right now 7 songs. And, you know, my brother's going to be on a lot of that quick. That's the one that the song with City will also be on. True to the Game. So the next one is the one with Martial Law. We just decided on a name for it, and that one is called Calculated Risk.
Hell yeah. And
that one's going to be 7 tracks that we recorded all at Big Bad Studios. I engineered them myself. 3 of them are Banco beats. The rest of them are beats that Marshall had purchased and sent to me. And then I had some time during the week by myself. I just asked him like a couple little keynotes about like what he was thinking about premises for the hook or the song type shit. And then I ended up coming up with damn near every hook on the, you know, on the EP, other than I think one of them.
Oh yeah.
Which is dope. And he actually spit most of them. Nice. You know, I think I split one hook with him, and then I'm on the Chitty Bang hook. But other than that, I got a verse on everything. And I think I'm just on the hook on the song with him and Swiggle. But yeah, that one should be coming out soon. Man, also got a single with his boy Sleepy Samurai. You know Sleepy.
Oh, shout out Sleepy
Samurai. I got
Samurai.
a song with him that we just finished. I actually we just stamped the cover art today. One's called Withimpin', which it means to channel your inner pimpin'. I know it's kind of corny, but that's what we called it. And anyway, so the other ones that we got coming up, I got an EP with Swiggle coming up.
Mandela.
Yes, sir. The single off of that EP, we're still working on the name, but it's called, the beat's called Rasta, and I got my man Struggle on there. I don't know if you know him, but man, bro is talented. He could sing, he could rap, and you know, he definitely tied in that song. I didn't send you that one, but that one is going to be a single off of that EP, and that will be a 4-track EP.
Oh yeah.
All with myself and Swiggle. And then man, definitely trying to get an EP with City the Great for sure. We're gonna get that in. You know, we both had seasons where we went through shows and then getting in the lab, tying up other loose ends. You know, but it's definitely time to get to work. The other EP I got coming out is with D Nice, Wild Money Sign 3, which I think I sent you 1 or 2 songs from that. I actually produced one of those. And
hell yeah.
F them 22s, I think is what it's called. But we ended up calling that How We Do. Going to be the official title of that one. Man, D Nice, I've been doing music with him since the beginning. And man, we have so much music in the vault, just him and I. So we recently have been re-recording our very early stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because especially to us, it's nostalgic. And then you know, fix a couple bars and flow a little bit better.
Once you have time with the familiarity and you've gotten like, better just as an artist, like I wish people would spend a little more time, like not doing it to everything that's out, but if they have stuff they're sitting on and time has progressed long enough, redo it. It doesn't hurt.
It was stuff that wasn't out.
Yeah.
I think we had a little EP on SoundCloud for a little second. There might be 1 or 2 songs of it floating out there, but we're re-recording all those, and then we've also created a shit ton since then. Man, working with a lot of people and trying to get these videos done, but you know, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of different artists and do more than just be a rapper who lays down a verse.
Yeah.
I'm able to like paint these pictures, man. And the way I deliver them, I don't really want it to be super stereotypical, and I kind of want to give the people a different taste just to show my diversity. Like my very first album I ever dropped, I think it was just like maybe 12 songs. And it was just all different vibes. It's called They Ain't Ready for like, meaning like they ain't ready for what I'm about to bring to the game, because I have a bunch of different facets to my toolbox, and it's time to show everybody exactly what I've been doing. So I'm the type of cat, man, I usually don't talk about what I'm doing until I do it.
Yeah.
Unless, I'm trying to politic and round table with people to make it happen. But I don't be talking publicly really about what I'm doing until I do it. Or until I got it locked in anyway. And I got this music locked in and done. And it's time to show everybody what I've been working on the last, few years and current.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, thank you for sharing all that with us, and looking forward to pretty much everything that you're putting out, especially with all the stuff that I got to hear that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
That y'all are not ready for this. It's good. It's all quality. You should get prepared now.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I've got one last question to go.
All right.
But before we do, I'm gonna steal the camera for just a second.
Bet.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, the final question. And you know what? We're actually going to bring City to Great back in for this one, because I'm sure he'll have a good answer too. But it's the way we close it up every time. What is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? It's a deep cut. It's one you think not a lot of people would know, but everybody should know.
Man.
I got a new one this time.
Go for it.
Corn Issues.
Okay.
I think Corn Issues, that one, because shockingly, a lot of people wouldn't know how much I listened to that album as a 13-year-old. Fieldy was crazy on the guitars back then, and it was just like that sound. I think that's what helped kind of create like how I can make songs like Arrogant. How I can make songs like what else I'll say? What's the song? Point of View. It's kind of like a alternative. I got like an alternative hip hop kind of sound sometimes. Even though overall my major sound for everybody knowing me is like that gangsta G-Funk West Coast. But like that's one of them albums. That was one of them ones that I played literally till I knew every skip on that CD. Yeah. So yeah, Corn Issues for me.
Hell yeah.
For sure. So.
Hell yeah. Well, that's a solid rec for sure. And you were right, one that I would not have expected. So quality suggestion.
Yeah, man. You pull up to City House, I might be in some corduroy house slippers listening to Zach Brown band.
Hell yeah.
You never know.
Hell yeah. All right. Bobby, you got one?
Yeah, man, I actually do. I forgot what volume it was, so I had to look. But it's called Thug Tears 2 by Mr. Fab.
Okay.
Bruh.
Hell yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, because I was just sharing these songs with my little brother yesterday, man. And let's see, you got 23 tracks on here. And this one was from 2018.
I was gonna say, really pulling out a deep cut. I haven't heard Mr. Fab I haven't heard that name in so long.
No, he doing a lot.
He doing Thug Therapy right now.
I just haven't heard the name like in conversation in a while.
That's a song on here. Thug Therapy.
Oh yeah, it's real. He has said they doing every month in Oakland right now.
Damn.
Yeah.
Real life Thug Therapies.
Yeah.
I want to make it to one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, number 20.
Yeah, man, tap in with
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Listen to it and visit it, man. Thug Therapy, man. Shout out Fabby.
Honestly, I believe this was after he came back from a little vacation, because this is very spiritual. But man, like the passion and the heart in it, I don't know, man. I was going through some things that resonated with me at the time, and it becomes something that I go back to here and there. Also another artist like Mo3 or something, but have you ever heard of T-Rail?
He coming out here next month.
Man.
Shout out to
it's crazy. And you know what? I forget exactly the album of that, because I just be throwing stuff on my playlist. But he got some crazy songs. He got some songs with Mo3 too, and Boosie. But man, that shit go crazy. I like that melodic, just real rap. But it don't matter what you sound like, as long as it's quality and you really like saying something in that energy and the emotion is there. You can paint a picture or make, you know, a movie without making a video. Just the song is a movie, you know, or some type of painting, you know, or a book. Make it something more than just a song, you know, and that's where you get creativity, preparation, talent, a whole team, all that type of shit, being efficient, proficient. That's when it comes together and you make dope ass music.
Hell yeah.
Timeless music.
Hell yeah.
Like, it's like, how is some new shit nostalgic? You heard?
Yep. I love that.
It comes out nostalgic.
That's what I'm saying, because it's gonna be here. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, we shooting for the long term. For the long term. So I'm growing this catalog, man. And next year coming out with a deluxe.
Hell yeah.
You know, and hoping to get even some of the people we mentioned, man. Be cool to do something with Mr. Fab. Be cool to do something with T-Rail, you know. All types of artists. You know, Boosie, all that. I'm trying to just do some music.
Yeah.
I mean, and leave a legacy at the same time. And leave my mark on it. But regardless of that, no matter where I go, you know, I want to make sure that when they mention hip hop, like, my name's mentioned in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. Especially from where I resonate from.
Hell yeah. All right. Now, with that being said, we're going to wrap it up, but I almost forgot this before I did my part. Go ahead and give us your ads and plugs and things like that before we go.
Oh, man. Mama. Shout out Mama. Shout out God. You know, man, shout out Ace Boogie. He going through it right now, but, man, shout out. He my dog. Shout out my wife. Shout out my business partner and producer, JC Banco. Shout out 11 Studios. Man, everyone who rock with me at the day shift. Man, my dog City the Great for pulling up with me today, man.
You already.
You know, always following through and having my back, man. Man, shout out to you, Jimmy.
Oh, thank you.
Man, definitely a fan of yours as well, man. And appreciate your support, dog. And last but not least, I want to thank myself.
Hell yeah. And where can we all find you?
Man, it's Bobby Barrz, 2 R's, 1 Z on all platforms. On IG, it's just Bobby_Barrz. You know, Spotify, all that, just Bobby Barrz. 2 words. You can find it. Usually looking like that. You know what I mean? No, check it out. Man, on 107.5 on Sunday, I got a song every month. And I send my music to the radio stations every single month. So, you know, tapping with the local radio stations, especially, man, PDX Radio. Shout out PDX Radio. Pretty dope experience, man. Rappy Dusky, man, he be really doing his thing for the community as well. He's got my music. He's got City's music. Most all the independent artists out here. He got new music Mondays. Mix it in with super popular music too, and you get paid for it. So, man, it's Gucci. So, send in your music there, and man, everyone who's been rocking with me since day one.
Hell yeah. All right. With that being said, we're going to get up on out of here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, dog.
Yes, sir. And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Bobby.
City the Great.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
I'm taking over the whole town. No, I'm not gonna